they will end the live, in this live. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. And we're about to finish off this live real quick. All right, we got more information to divulge to you. So this is part 2 because this is what they don't want us to talk to you guys about. Let's get it. Now, basically, we already know once I started talking about the fractional reserve banking and the fact that we don't own anything, that they're controlling our economy by way of the interest rate. I just do believe that Trump at this particular time is going after the Federal Reserve chairman because he wants to control this economy by allowing his friends and his rich elite to come in and start buying property and land, highlighting that a lot of us as Americans are not in the position right now to go invest. Okay, so let's keep it going. We're going to watch this as you guys get notification. I want to say thank you so much for being with us. I do apologize that we have got cut off. Let's play this from the top of Trump addressing, well, not Trump, the Federal Reserve Chairman responding to Trump. Let's go. Thank you for being here.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and U.S. President Donald Trump are at loggerheads once again. The central bank chief said Sunday that the Justice Department had opened a criminal investigation against him for allegedly
Hold on one
misleading
second, y'all.
Congress.
Give me one
While the
second.
probe
Let's
is
start it again. I'm
ostensibly about a
smiling
project
because
to
this is what
renovate Federal
YouTube do.
Reserve.
Don't be surprised, y'all. I'm not surprised that we were eating. We're getting that knowledge out, making people think a little different. And YouTube literally cut my live. So let's finish a part 2. I hope you guys get the notification and come back in. Again, they cannot stop truth to power. They cannot stop the facts. So let's go. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. Let's talk about money.
President Donald Trump are at loggerheads once again. The central bank chief said Sunday that the Justice Department had opened a criminal investigation against him for allegedly misleading Congress. While the probe is ostensibly about a project to renovate the Fed's office buildings, Powell says that is just a pretext.
The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president.
The criminal investigation marks a dramatic escalation in tensions between the White House and Fed. But how did things get so bad? Trump's beef with the Fed all goes back to interest rates. He has repeatedly called on the central bank to cut rates faster, saying that would boost the economy. Trump says they should go as low as 1%, a level rarely seen outside times of crisis. He's been frustrated with the Fed's caution, dubbing its boss too late Powell, and at times threatening to fire him. The Fed was designed by Congress to be insulated from political pressure. The 7 members of its board of governors serve 14-year terms, which ensures that no president can nominate a majority. But Trump has also tried to fire another Fed governor, Lisa Cook.
No problem, highly favored. Thank you for being here.
Cook has denied wrongdoing and sued to keep her job. A planned renovation of 2 historic buildings in the Fed's Washington headquarters has run over budget. This for reasons such as higher than expected costs, design changes, and unforeseen hazardous material contamination.
Now this is Trump. This is Trump spending our money on revamping this White House that he plans to be in forever.
Accused Powell of mismanagement and hinted at fraud without providing evidence. Powell has rejected the charges and defended the need to remove hazardous materials. The DOJ appears to be preparing to indict Powell for lying to Congress. That's over his June testimony to the Senate Banking Committee about the renovation. George Washington University political expert Sarah Binder says it's a deeply unusual move for the Justice Department.
Well, it's certainly not normal for U.S. attorneys' offices to go after what appear to be the president's critics. In this case, Powell's not a Trump critic per se. But what's unusual here is that we know, as the president keeps saying, he wants lower interest rates from the Federal Reserve. And even though the Fed actually has recently, in several meetings, cut interest rates, that is not good enough for the president and his demands.
Exactly.
Has angered some Republicans. Senator Tom Tillis says he will oppose all future Fed nominees while the probe lasts. He sits on the banking committee that oversees the Fed, where Republicans hold only a slim majority. Still, the president's pressure could succeed. Powell and Cook could be forced out, giving Trump 2 new seats to fill. But for now, there's little expectation that the Fed will bow to pressure for more rate cuts.
Wow, this is literally Project 2025. This is literally Project 2025. So if you don't know what's going on right now, basically we're getting to the part 2 of our live. This is where they cut us off at because we were getting to the meat and butter about what's going on in our finances related to Trump crazy actions. At first, that whole live, we talked about ICE. We went into a little bit of the budget, some of the surveillance techniques they're doing. Now it's time to get into how Trump is actually breaking America as well. Now, just remember the programs that were defunded, again, no one is talking about actually refunding them. Okay. Programs that were defunded, Social Security, welfare, January 2026. Remember, administration froze $10 billion in funding for Democrat-led states. This is very political, very disgusting. Temporary assistance for needy families, child care and development funds were on hold, as well as Head Start. And again, we got to see what's being allocated to them because we're already at $250 billion being allocated to ICE. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? We're gutting the system, but then we have nobody to actually replace them. Are we just replacing them with AI? With Elon Musk's bots? Moving forward. All right, the next thing he pulled out was the educational fund. The Pell Grants and federal student aid was reduced, and administration initiated a whirlwind of winding down techniques for the Department of Education. Grants for STEM education and teacher training were also terminated. How are we going to move forward as a nation if we are not even trying to continue to educate our teachers, pay them more money? The STEM program is gone, but then you're talking about DEI. You're talking about nationals coming here taking our jobs, but your president is not preparing you to take these jobs. Again, Mega, I'm going to need you guys to go over there and critically think. Y'all going to ask him, what are you doing to replace this? He even lied about what happened to his online school that he said he was going to do. Basically do away with colleges and put like a YouTube type of platform where people could just teach up there and he was going to give certifications. Go look at that, at Trump plan. I read that. I was like, what the? Do you know what happened to his other school? His other school? Let's move forward. Okay. So he's taken away from education. And again, I already said us being homeowners, we're going to get the tail end of that. Our taxes are going to go up next year because of the Fed cuts. And I think every year is going to go up because they're going to have this perception of that they need more and more money to do more for our kids because they're so behind. And then ain't nothing going to happen. But we're going to move forward. The next thing, and we're going to do a live on that too, some of the healthcare things that has been happening as far as immunization mandates, some of the things that we're involved in is not okay. But the administration withdrew from the World Health Organization, which is very dangerous. I'm not big on the World Health Organization or how they handled the COVID. But at the end of the day, we're not an entity in ourselves. So if we are not in the talks of what's going on with other places and we have different diseases popping up and things that's going on, and these people are just traveling around and we don't have no understanding because we're not part of it, what's going to happen? We're going to be spreading diseases. We're going to be behind technical wise as far as healthcare technologies and everything. But I'm gonna just keep on moving. But I'm not big on healthcare at the World Health Organization because they sure enough handled the COVID wrong. But if we don't like what they do, how are we gonna replace them? He defunded the Affordable Care Act. We're still trying to figure out what he has to replace it. It says outreach program, nearly $2 billion was cut from the mental health addiction program that directly target homeless people in the needle exchange program. Now, I will say this is a part 2, guys. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button. Obviously, you know that's a problem if YouTube cuts you off when you start talking about money and banking. And the Federal Reserve, because I got this work. I tell you, I'm very well rounded in study, guys. These are what they don't want us to pay attention to. So with that goes to say, moving forward, the Affordable Care Act, we have a serious problem with that. Since the COVID, our healthcare needs have went up tremendously. Heart disease, cancers on the rise. A lot of these hospitals were funded and all they did was cosmetic workup for them, made them look nice, but did not fill them up with personnel. That's why New York just had a strike. I was thinking about going over there and make some money real quick, but I'm like, nah. that ain't my life no more. I'm not doing no more contracts. But if it gets to the point that we really need help, Nurse Lashley gonna be there. But what that goes to say, we're still going through tremendous health disparities trying to recover from COVID. Why would you guys, and I'm saying mega, this is mega, why would you allow Trump to defund these these programs? Highlighting that a lot of people who had side effects from this, they was Caucasian. I'm not lying. I was crying for y'all and everything. I got a whole page. Go under here. Go under here. You're going to see my Rumble page and you're going to see my Instagram page because they wouldn't let me talk on YouTube. I follow all the vaccine people, and most of them was Caucasians. I hurt my heart because they treated y'all like crap, like crapola. Again, mega. I got to call y'all out. We got to think because they be like, mega come in my comments. I'm like, yeah, low vibrational black chick. Get this work. Make it make sense. Stay out your feelings. Let's make it make sense. Because the nation that they're creating right now is the nation that we're going to be stuck with. All right. So again, this is what Trump has done. Now, it's weird. 2026 budget features a 83.7 cut on the State Department U.S. aid entitlement for global health, family planning, and net zero cities investment. Now, net zero city investment, we got to know what net. I don't know what that is. We're going to look that up. But to cut 83.7% on needed global health is important, guys. I don't care what it is. I don't want to be in nobody else's business, no country, y'all politics. But when they sick and it could spread and it has no discrimination, that's when Nurse Lashley kick in and say, oh no, we need to have some form of communication. That's why our healthcare systems in America is messed up. Each hospital is like his own island in the same state. I'm like, this is stupid. We're supposed to follow evidence-based practice, but every single place runs very different. What the is going on here? That's why as a travel nurse, I just knew my foundations of what I was supposed to know, and I had to be very flexible because every single floor and every department I went to ran completely different. No ICU is the same. And that said a lot to me. That means that we don't have evidence-based practice or standard of care that most of our facilities are following, which causing us to waste more money on healthcare, which causing us to be more sick as Americans. But let's just move forward. This is what we talk about here. And what else he defunded? Community grants. This is for us. Mega, this is for you. Come up with an amazing idea and crush it. No, you won't get funded. And that's the grassroots. Because if we come in as the regular people and we want to do something, government funding should be there to help us get our businesses off the ground. Like Atlanta has a lot of the government grant programs. They teach you how to apply for state programs, things like that. Why? Because we pay taxes. Unlike what Trump lovers actually say, oh, go do it yourself, do it yourself. Well, tell the damn feds to do it themselves. Tell them to stop taking my damn tax money. And you ain't doing, what have you done for me lately? That's just all I'm saying. All right, so this is where Trump has put most of the money. Again, we're showing you in real time, but just to get off of my fact finder page, America's first opportunity fund. It was a new incentive. Have y'all ever heard of that? What happened to that? America First Opportunity Fund, 2.9 billion fund to support strategic international partnership like India and Jordan. So, how is that America First Opportunity Fund? Oh, we're gonna have the little America Fund. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. We're gonna look it up just like we're doing with the ICE report. Let me just write that. Yeah, we're gonna look that up because it says America Opportunity Fund for $2.9 billion. This is what Trump initiative, and it says for strategic international partnerships like India and Jordan. Moving forward, he's picking and choosing what he wants to do, who he wants to support. Make America healthy again. A $500 million incentive for the HHS to address nutrition and drug quality. We're going to follow up on that. I like JFK Jr. Kennedy, what's his name? Kennedy Jr. I like him a little bit. But once I found out he blew his brains out with all that cocoa, I said, oh yeah, my baby one of them. He on the list. No disrespect. I like some of the stuff he talked about because he was one of the pioneers out there fighting during this. I was listening, but I had to watch. We're going to keep it moving. That's why I was telling my favorite mod, I was like, because I had to renew my nursing license this week. It was hard for me, y'all. It's hard out here for a pimp. 30 clinical hours of looking up stuff. And you know what I was made aware of? You know that the pharmacy actually prescribed cocaine? Now, I understand fentanyl, meth, pharmacies. I'm a nurse. I'm telling you, cocoa. This is a great healthcare system. That's why I walked away from the bedside. So, with that being said, let's keep it moving. It says New York Federal Reserve gave Wall Street $402 billion in the past 2 months. That's why I said, don't be mad at me, Federal Reserve, because y'all knew I wasn't going to kiss y'all butt. Please hit the like button. Thank you, because I had to start a new live. Y'all saw them cut me off in real time. I was bringing that work. It says New York Federal Reserve gave Wall Street over $420 billion. Y'all know what Wall Street is. Y'all know what Wall Street is. That's a private entity of a whole bunch of companies going there trading on the stock market, and that is not us. Okay, they're not doing the best by us. The Federal Reserve has quietly delivered. They still bailing us out. That's what I'm saying. Some bailouts are going in. Some buffers are going in because the fractional reserve banking is not working anymore. We can't have just numbers on the screen. We can't just have that on the screen. When other countries like China and Russia are backing their currency up through blockchain and through gold-backed reserve contracts. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about. I think we're gonna get really boring tomorrow. Talk about China and Russia to come up on like the real stance of them. Like they're sleeping giants. The same concept that the rich and elite had here in America, where basically we don't care about your politics as long as we own everything. That's what they took on. They playing chess with their opponent the way their opponent is playing chess. That's why they're not blowing our head off. Because they like, yo, I got money invested in America. And go ahead and take Venezuela, but I want a lot of that land and refining it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Not saying they totally got us by the balls, but we're self-destructive along with them building some stuff up. So again, the Federal Reserve is not the best friend of ours as well because they're bailing out Wall Street. This cash infusion could signal instability in a broader financial sector. This is what we're talking about. That's why they wanted to shut my ass down. We ain't doing that today. I'll tell you why they try to keep me censored because I talk about the shit. Let's go. And it be a little hood. I'm holy hood. Holy hood, that would. Hit the like button. Come on. Now, it says this cash infusion could signal instability in the broader financial sector and comes as the central bank is designated by potential marketing rattling turmoil following Trump administration launch in the criminal investigation of the Federal Reserve Chairperson Jerome Powell. Okay. Now, and that's going to make other countries look at them like, oh my God, we got issues over there. Because again, the Federal Reserve in itself gets invested in as well. Shut up. That ain't no government entity. I'm dead serious. That's why I said it could turn the rates and everything into turmoil because they have people who back in the Federal Reserve. It's like probably a little table of rich people. Probably, allegedly. I'm not saying the names. Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off, YouTube. I know how to censor my words. Okay, I'm not these other people. Okay, I understand. But y'all be knowing who's sitting at them damn tables. Rothschilds, Rockefellers. Move forward. The New York Federal Reserve, a regional branch of the largest central bank that works to maintain the country's financial stability, kicked off the new year by dumping nearly $97 billion into the banking sector December 31st. What did Trump do December 25th on Christmas? Nigeria has something that we need. What did he do New Year's? Venezuela definitely has something we need. In December 31st, the night before, the Federal Reserve infused $97 billion into Wall Street. What is going on? The move is the latest in a series of major cash transfers. The New York Federal Reserve has recently delivered to Wall Street. Their infusion began with $11 billion transfer on June 30th. In October, the transfer became much more frequent, accumulating to massive amount to about $50 billion infused on Halloween. Special days, I don't know. And it said, at first reported by an investigation news outlet, DCR report, its total after dolging out little bits of money since July 2020. So it's before Trump. That's why I said Trump just using that like, listen, okay, I'm in charge, baby. Lower this real quick so my people could come in and buy up some more land because you know America ain't gonna do it. And yeah, let's get this economy going so Americans could think that their things are flowing, but it's going to be more inflation. Our pay is still the same. The job market is not increasing, and the housing demand is going up, despite whoever they're deporting. You know why? Because we don't have people to actually build more houses. I'm not saying we can't do it with all our technology and that slow ass printing machine, but I had some Mexicans up there like. I saw them turn a one family house into a 6-unit house in Newark. I cried. And they did it in 4 months. I cried. Don't tell me we don't need people from other nations coming in here to help us. Okay. So it says right here, basically after the transfer more than $420 billion to Wall Street in the past 7 months, the record amount from the program. So let's just leave that right here. And I'm going to leave this information and who is this? Truth Out News. Y'all know I get news from all over. We're going to make sure that this is verifiable, and I already did because guess what? Guess who got a YouTube page? And it's real. The Federal Reserve. They have freaking meetings all the time, and they don't get 1 million views like Candice. That's why I told you they be trying to set us the hell up. Get a little corny. I'm like, oh shit. That's how I learned a lot. Colleges be having seminars online. Baby, if I couldn't afford college because I was planning to send my kids to college because I'm a single mother, I was learning from everybody. Go get that work. Go on the Federal Reserve website and see what's going on, okay? So the future of the dollar dominance, that's where we're going to end off at right now. Thank you for being here. I told you it's going to be a little long-winded, but it's for what we need, okay? It's not many content creators that's going to talk like me. I'm not going to just throw things out there and get you riled up. And yeah, let this, blast news. No disrespect, but we're going to have to make this happen. So let's talk about the U.S. dollar in the future. The future of the dollar dominance. This is brought to you by IISS Facts Analysis and Influence. Who is IIS? Look at y'all. I'm going to read this article to y'all, guys. You know, one of these financial newspapers, I'll be reading everything. Yeah, let's get to it. I'll read it to y'all if y'all want to read. I'll be y'all fake AI. Sound a little hood, that would. The U.S. dollar remains the backbone of the global finance, accounts for 56 of the global foreign exchange reserve. That's where we get money from. Exchange reserve. We hold it by a sword, meaning that they can't buy oil from certain countries without basically exchanging into American dollar. That's the only way that we have this 50%, 56% of a holding, okay? And involves 89% of global foreign exchange market trade. Okay, let's go. Yet aim increase uncertainty about the United States long-term stability, driven by U.S. Democrat or vulnerabilities and challenges. Okay, we're having domestic issues and also the challenges to the Federal Reserve independence. The search for alternative is accelerating. Okay, so let's go. It says emerging de-dollarization is coming. In response, states and companies have sought to hedge against the United States dollar vulnerability, diversifying reserves, and that's what I'm telling you guys to do. Diversify your portfolio. Stop just acting like America's the only country in this world. Even if y'all don't want to get involved in war with countries, I would invest in Dubai. Not Dubai. Shut up. I meant to say Machu Picchu. If like, yeah, I like Machu Picchu. If anything happens, that's where y'all gonna catch me. That's my final destination. I'm not beat. When they hit the fan here, you're gonna be on a boat going to Machu Picchu. Just so peaceful. But like, just find places that you want to invest in that is probably has nothing to do with the current turmoil. Start looking into other markets, and that's exactly what the Federal Reserve is doing and big investors are doing, and that's all I'm telling you to do. And that's what I'm going to be telling the people to do in my economic development seminar today at 2:30. Diversifying reserves, understanding your liquidity sources, and invoicing currencies, adopting alternative payment systems, and increasing non-US dollar holding of value. This is what other nations are doing. So they're diversifying their portfolio. They're looking at their liquidation sources, what could be liquidated in the time frame, invoicing currencies, looking at all the different currencies, who's doing what, the battle is on, bitch. Adopt alternative payment systems, but that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. China and Russia have bypassed any payment system that America could track, look at, or whatever when it comes to the oil, and I ain't lying. And increase non-US dollar holding of value. So basically, they've been dumping the dollar and getting other currencies that they can use to trade in other markets because the US dollar has become dangerous. Is literally we have a bully. It means nothing. Contracts mean nothing to them. Sovereignty means nothing to America. So these other countries are not about to play. They like, oh nah, we about to get rid of some of this shit because they about to implode. Obadiah, that's what I went over in our last live. It's time. Let's go. Gold is one example of the resilience building with prices breaking at $4,600 per ounce. Ooh, oh shit, we got to get us some gold. The last time I had gold, an ounce of gold was like 2,000 and change. Oh God. Okay. Okay. I gotta sum this up because I gotta get finished cooking, guys. Y'all didn't know that I'm a little finance geek, but I just had to get into it. Okay. So the reason why the dollar is being basically destabilized is because of the factors that I told you of other nations losing their hope in us. Gold in itself, the resilience of gold has went up too because China and Russia has backed their currency up by gold reserves and their contract exchange is gold reserve currency, automatic. There's no political issues. I'm mad at you. You're going to get paid, which build more trust between China and these other nations. So let's move on. From the U.S. digital gold, because they tried to sell us a new currency, which was the same thing I kept telling people. Bitcoin, what the hell is that? Basically, it's the same system, but now they just gonna put you on blockchain. First they lied and said it was untrackable, but everything is trackable on Bitcoin. Y'all stupid. So that's the new digital gold that they try to push in America. And guess what they did? They locked y'all asses in. Excuse my language. I'm gonna keep it real. What they do? They put a law in place to say if you liquidate this amount of money from your Bitcoin, you have to pay this amount of taxes. This amount of taxes. Oh, they jerked your ass. Okay, so that was another, like I say, ploy to get the American system on some type of blockchain chain monitoring currency system. But let's just keep going because other nations picked up this blockchain thing as well, Bitcoin. This is what I'm reading to you guys. Okay, we're about to come to an end. I want to say, all right, guys, I do apologize. I was having technical issues. Actually, my phone went dead. I was going in. I didn't expect the live to be this long. I have a whole lot of more information to share with you. Obviously, y'all know y'all hit a good part. I love talking about finance, law, and all types of stuff. So we're going to do a part 3 to this. And we're going to go down to talk about why Trump went to Davos, what he thought he was going to be doing. We're also going to talk about the reason why Trump actually wants to acquire Greenland and the issues that it's going to bring. I think that's going to be Friday's topic. I want to say thank you to you guys for dealing with my shortcomings today. Understanding that I'm working to get myself back in the algorithm as a content creator, but I'm pretty heavy. So tomorrow, come back, tune in at 8 a.m. We're going to be going into the history of China, Russia, financial, where they're at now, and why there's such a problem for us. And then Friday, part 3 of this. Trump is bankrupting America, a real look of our financial situation. And again, I'm just going to close off with this. Go get some gold. I'm about to get me some gold by the end of the month, baby, because it looked like the way that gold is going up, I'm about to go get me an ounce. Diversify your portfolio, diversify your mind and your heart. And with that goes to say, please hit the like button because you know who works with Grace. Who walks with us? Shout out to the Levi family. Hit the like button. Join us at 3:30 for our Atlanta food giveaway. I'm about to finish chopping up in the kitchen. Please like and subscribe.